Greetings everybody, it's Rob from the Sage Tower, and we're here with another Pathfinder 2nd edition video, and this one is another monster discussion video, and this is about, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous monsters that you can throw at your party. Now I know you may be thinking, could it be a dragon? Could it be a lich? Could it be some demon or devil? What is this creature that is such a danger to the party? And the answer to your question is the Catoblepas. Now, I know those of you who aren't aware of this creature probably think, what in the world is a Catoblepas? And it's a weird name. I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. It's that weird of a word to say. But this monster is a beast. Literally, it is a beast type. It is a CR12 creature. It has a very distinct swampy look to it. And this thing is a terror. Straight up terror. No ifs, ands, or buts about this creature. Now, because of CR12, your best bet is you can probably throw at your party around level 10, 11-ish is when you can throw it at them. Level 10 would make it like a pretty intense encounter. What makes this creature so hard? Let's go over some of its few things. One, it has a very high AC of 33, so it's going to take some good hits to actually hit it. Its breath weapon is incredibly powerful for doing 13d6 poison damage, and it can also make people sicken from the effect. Now, this combines with the aura, or the stench that it kind of gives off, that if someone, as long as someone is kind of in the aura, they take a -2 penalty to trying to save against disease or to recover from the sicken condition. So if they're within the 30-foot stench, they actually get a penalty trying to retch to recover from the sicken that they would have got from the breath weapon. So those two abilities combo with one another really well. The damage output is intense. You can probably do 13d6, probably put you around 30-40 damage, somewhere around there on average for the roll, with a pretty high DC of 32. So if they fail, they're taking 30-40 damage, which is a good chunk. That's a good chunk of damage for one thing. And then you go to the attacks. Jaws attack, antlers attack, hoofs attack. Jaws and antlers both have reach 10, 15 feet respectively. So this thing is a large creature that has tons of reach and can hit targets far away from it. All these attacks do either 3d10 or 3d12 points of damage. So even a regular hit, you're looking at, 20-30 damage on a hit. And with a plus 25, it's a good chance it's going to hit the first attack most of the time. There's even the fact that it may crit with that first hit. Because now that 30 or so damage becomes 60 damage. And that's on one hit. So you have that combined with the breath weapon, and you can very easily take down someone in a turn, 2 or 3 turns. So with all that, you have this monster beast with a high AC, over 200 hit points. It is incredibly beefy, bulky, and if all that wasn't enough, it has ferocity as a reaction. So when it gets hit down to 0, it stays at 1 and gets wounded in 1 condition. And it can do it again until it gets to wounded 3. Now, the way I looked at this, because it actually came up in 2nd edition in my playthrough with it, is since it's a reaction, it means if it gets hit twice in the same round, it can't react the second time and it will fall. But if they only hit it once and it gets ferocity, and then it gets its reaction back that next round, it's gonna live the next hit automatically, making it able to do another series of attacks potentially taking out some of your players. Now, the reason I'm saying this is one of the most dangerous creatures in my opinion, is I've ran this creature twice so far in my campaigns. Once in 1E, and the second time recently in 2E. In my first edition game, which would have been a Curse of the Crimson Throne game, I believe I killed 2 players with it. I think I killed 2 players with it in that fight, and the other 2 players I think survived, barely, or they either, yeah, I believe that's what happened. So I killed 2, the other 2 got out in the nick of time. And then in this recent fight, I had them all pretty much down to very little health. They were all in, like, you know, if you have, like, in Foundry, the health bar, green, yellow, like, it's all the way down to red. They were all really hurting. I had one of them down in dying status. The other ones were just really low. And this was one creature. Just one. And it almost, like, depending on the rolls, it could have TPK'd the whole party on its own. It was that bulky of a monster. The plus 25, you know, my party's AC is around, like, you know, 28-ish. Meaning I hit on a 4 or 5 for my first attack. Guaranteed, basically. So, and if all I have to do is roll decently high, and I can crit on a good chunk of the party, doing 40-50 damage a hit. So, you know, depending on the rolls, you can wipe your party with this creature. It's that scary. And the reason why I like this creature as opposed to some of the other creatures is it's unexpectedly dangerous. You know, it's not a dragon, not one of those big creatures I named at the start of the video that has all these crazy, you know, you see this dragon roar out and it, you know, it does all this crazy stuff. This is just this weird, like, piggy looking creature that hits like a Mack truck, smells horrid, has a breath weapon that is pretty hard to beat, and does sicken on top of that, which can also affect, like, you know, if you're sickened, you can't drink potions, because you can't drink anything while you're sick. So that affects them trying to heal from all the damage you're pumping out at the same time. It's just a nasty combo with this creature. Just overall nasty. Like I said, I've ran this creature twice so far, and both times the party has been on the brink of complete wipe death. And I've had dragon fights where dragons have barely knocked they've barely knocked a player down. Now, to combat such a creature, there are definitely a few ways you can combat such a creature. Obviously, you know, concealment issues. It does have dark vision, so keep that in mind. You know, doing concealment issues, tripping it. You know, if you manage to have someone who can trip it, making it spend an action to get back up, can work. Spells can work as well, but essentially you wanna, you know, try and limit its movement so it doesn't get as many hits off, or try and do things that, you know, will affect to frighten it, give it some debuffs. You know, take advantage of your flanks, take advantage of your bonuses. You want to make sure that you are maximizing whatever you can against this creature, because it's gonna hit hard. The only thing good about it is it doesn't have any sort of healing, no resistances. It is immune to disease and poison, but, you know, once you see that first poison breath attack hit, there's a good chance you're not gonna use poison against it. You know, pray your GM rolls high on the cooldown. You know, if they roll the breath weapon and they roll them 1, that means, you know, 2 rounds from now, it could technically breath weapon again, doing another 13d6 damage to everybody. So it's gonna be scary. You can try and spread out, go with a 60-foot cone. There's a good chance it's gonna hit, you know, some sort of group. Outside of that, it's a scary monster. I'm very curious to see if any of you guys fought against this monster, or you have ran this monster in your own games, be it the adventure paths or your own homebrew games. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm definitely curious. If you have, that's great. If you have it, definitely look this creature up. If you have like a level, 9, 10 party, you can definitely throw it at them once they hit level 10 or 11 kind of deal. And I know, if you're thinking of ideas, I'll give you some ideas for how this creature works. Since it's like a very stinky, swampy type creature, yes, swamps will work for it naturally, but you can also have it, in the sewer systems. You could hang out in. It could be, since it's kind of this beast type monster, you could have it transported, and it broke free. You could have this monster just kind of roaming. Maybe it has a den someplace, in the jungle, and it's kind of made itself this little den. So, your creatures have your party has to go past it, or past its den it made maybe in this old ruins kind of deal. So then that way it also has that like very defensive, like over its home type vibe to it. Different ways you can make this creature work. It's a really powerful creature, and I hope you guys enjoy using this creature. If you haven't yet, I definitely recommend it. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in some more Pathfinder 2nd edition content. Thank you.